What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring you the first video in my kind of collection series for this year. Technically I did a video or a series in like the last week of December to early January, but this is going to be my series for this year. I am not doing any decluttering in any of these videos because I've already decluttered now twice in the last like 3 to 4 months. So these videos are going to be purely collection purposes, and that's all I want to say. I just want to give you guys the intro. Today is going to be foundations, concealers, and powders with setting sprays as well. So basically my full base. And then throughout this month I will be giving you guys videos on the rest of the series. I'm aiming to upload these videos on the Saturdays of every week, but we'll see how that goes because I've already missed. No, I haven't missed a Saturday yet. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, let's just get into the video. Alrighty guys, so today is going to start off my kind of collection series. I have already done about 2 declutters in the last, what, maybe 3 to 4 months. So I don't feel a need to declutter anything out of my collection. But I do want to go ahead and take the time to just show you guys and help me create a better inventory, because my inventory has been a little lax lately on just what I have in my collection. I am going to start off obviously with some easier categories because there's less stuff, but we will be getting into the nitty-gritty. We will be getting into the eyeshadow palettes, all of that stuff. I won't be doing single shadows just because I've already done that very recently. But yeah, let's just get into this baby. I'm gonna start off actually by telling you guys, if you see any dust in the background, it's makeup dust and fairy dust. Okay, so we just gonna keep it pushing. I have a total of 6 concealers in my collection. 4 are backups and I have 2 that are actually in rotation. Let me get those last 2. Okay, I had to get the last 2 and also get a chair because I tried to sit on this wood floor and that's just not where your girl's life is at. Okay, I'm going to talk about the 2 that I'm currently working with. These are the 2. This first one is the Wet n Wild Photo Finish concealer, and this is actually in my shop, my stash. I don't tend to reach for it very often because I don't really need concealer, especially not on an everyday basis. So this is something that's just sitting there when I want to touch something up or something like that, but it's useful and I do like this concealer. This is now my second bottle of this. This is the Full Spectrum Covergirl concealer. I don't have a shade. I will try and get a shade and put it on the screen for you guys. I hate this concealer. It is way too yellow for my complexion. You guys can see just between these two the difference. It's too much for me. I don't like it at all. So this will definitely be getting used up and I will never repurchase that ever. Then I have 4 other concealers that are in my collection. Now, 3 of these I've actually never tried before, and 1 I have tried and it's like my holy grail, which is why it's still here. So this Naked Skin from Urban Decay in the shade Deep Warm, or Dark Warm, I'm sorry. This is my holy grail. I love this concealer. It's so hydrating under my eye. It gives me enough coverage. It lightens up that area as well. I really enjoy this concealer. This is like my #1 concealer that I've ever used, and I will always have at least 1 bottle in my collection. Although I think they might have actually discontinued this line, so yeah, we'll see. And then the other 3 I have actually never tried, or I've tried like once. Like this one my best friend actually gave to me and I swatched it. It looked like it was a good color. This is a very full coverage formulation, so I haven't actually tried it because I'm not a full coverage girl. This Kevyn Aucoin I still haven't tried, but I think I got it on sale, which is why I wanted to get it and try it out. Plus I heard so many good things about it. And then lastly, this Better Skin. I just heard good things about it. It was on a discount and I needed a concealer at this point because I was scared. I think that I was going to run out of concealer. So yeah, these are the 6 concealers in my collection. I will probably honestly take me until the end of next year to get through all 6 of these because I don't really run through concealer. Like I do, but I don't. Okay, now what am I going to do? Now let's go through, I have the setting sprays here. Let's just go through my setting sprays because that's another really small category. First, I have this Boscia setting spray. As you can see, I am almost done. I'm very proud of this. This was my oldest setting spray in my collection, and my goal was to get rid of this by the end of the year. It looks like I will be able to do that, thankfully. So this will be out of my collection probably by the time you guys actually see this collection video, and it'll be another empty, which will be good because it's always good to have an empty in your collection or to finish your products. Another product that I've been working on pretty diligently is a MAC Fix Plus. This is just the normal original version. I really love to use this to kind of set my base before I finish my look, and then I go in with my Boscia to really set it. So this has been a combination that I have been using lately, which is why both of them are almost on their last leg. I can't wait to finish this, get my full money out of it, and then work on these last setting sprays. I only have 2 other setting sprays, and yeah, I'm excited. Okay, the next setting spray that I actually have the MAC Fix Plus Matte Edition. I think this is basically an equivalent of the Boscia. So when I finish the Boscia, this will be my like everyday, you have to set your base with this setting spray. I think it's good. I think it's nice. It's not like a holy grail, but to be quite honest, I don't find any setting spray a holy grail. So it's just kind of, if you work, you work. If you don't, you don't. Lastly, I have this. This is the Tatcha Luminous Dewy Skin Mist. I got this because I was just intrigued. I wanted to kind of make some of my more really matte foundations satiny, and I thought this could work. This literally makes anything dewy, like dewy. So I don't know how I'm gonna be able to use this. I think I might try and use this to target my blush and highlighter areas, and maybe that'll bring a very interesting look. But other than that, I truly will not be able to use this on my whole complexion because it just, I'm a combination oily girl if you did not know, so this is just not going to cut it for keeping my makeup lasting all day for, yeah, all day. That is my setting spray collection, those 4 in the back. I don't have any other setting sprays in my collection. Yeah, even in my shop my stash, it's actually a portion of this that's in my setting spray right now. So I don't have any other setting sprays. I think now it's good time to go into my foundations. I have quite a few, not only these that are right here, but I also have some in my project that are not in this area. So let me actually start with those so I don't forget them. Okay, so I only have 4 left in that project. This one is a Revolution Pro Full Coverage Camouflage Foundation. It's an F14. This is pretty much my perfect shade, if you are wondering. I haven't touched this all year or since I started my project, but this definitely will be the next foundation that I reach for, especially if I'm able to finish the one that I'm working on currently. Because this will work for me right now in this shade. So it's okay foundation. I just don't like squeezy tubes. I found that out. And I also am not a full coverage person. So this gives me too much coverage, as weird as that sounds. And I'm not a huge fan of that. So I do want to get that out of my collection. Next is this Fenty. I've had this since she launched, so it's been quite old in my collection. I actually hit my goal. If you guys are wondering, for that project, I wanted to get it down to the B. I was able to do that, but this is definitely an old foundation. I am going to continue to keep this in my collection and just knock this out next summer. I actually am going to Australia and New Zealand for my birthday in January, so I might actually be able to knock this out quite quickly in the new year. But I do want to get all of my money's worth out of this baby. This is not a cheap foundation at all. And since I'm not breaking out because of it, I do want to get my money so I can have another empty. This is another foundation that I have not touched. I tested it out kind of when I bought it, and that was pretty much it. This is their Bare Minerals Matte Powder. It's okay. I really need to go ahead and really just give this baby a shot. I just haven't really given it a shot, which is why we're in the situation that we're in, where I have not touched it, and I've had this in my collection probably minimum a year. So I do want to get this out of my collection and actually use it. And the last foundation in this project currently is my NARS Sheer Glow in Trinidad. I actually had less of this product in the bottle than I thought. Every time I'll come in, you guys can see, you don't see that much product in there. And I have been having to kind of really bang on the top to get product out of here. So this will definitely hopefully be done by the end of this year, I'm hoping, because it's actually starting to change color, and that is when it's too much oxygen, I believe, has gone into the foundation. It does still work on my complexion. Once it hits my skin, it warms up and it gets to the right shade, but this is clearly an old foundation. I need to get rid of it. So this is the foundation that I've been really cranking on, trying to get all of my use out of it, and we will see. Hopefully I can do that, but definitely by the end of this year, early January, regardless of how much I have left in it, it's going to go, because it's getting bad, and it's not a good thing to keep something that's going bad in your collection, especially if it goes all over your face. Another product that I need to really just give a shot is my Bare Minerals Pro. This is the pressed foundation, I guess, and I got this in Clove 28. I thought I could use this as a bronzer. Clearly this is not going to bronze me at all, so I want to give this a shot as a pressed powder foundation, but I just don't reach for stuff like this. So I really need to kind of get my act together and really just do it, you know? Next is another foundation. I actually got this from Target. This is the Haley's foundation. I have this in the shade, what shade do I have this in? 7.25 Neutral. I really enjoy this foundation. This was the foundation that I thought really set down on my complexion the best. So when I wanted to do like more artistic looks, this is typically the foundation that I reach for. I do enjoy it, and I just want to get my use out of it. I got this, I want to say, sometime maybe last year, and I do want to get this out of my collection and use it, but I do want to get the products that I've had the longer time out first. So this will definitely be something that I take my time to really get use out of. You can see that I have gotten a decent amount of use out of this product, but I may not reach for this in this upcoming year because this is not going to be one of the older foundations in my collection. Next, I have one foundation that I did sneak into my collection this year. This is the Tarte, Double Duty Beauty Foundation. This is basically the face tape, the equivalent of the shape tape that they tried to release the first time. This one is in Rich Neutral. This is an okay foundation. I don't think it's a holy grail like other people were putting it out to be, which is disappointing because I always want to find a holy grail. I personally have not found that, really. I found foundations that I really enjoy, but nothing holy grail status. So this is an okay foundation. Yeah, I will be getting my use out of this after I get all of these older ones out. And another foundation that stuck into my collection this year is the Soap and Glory Kick-Ass All Day Wear foundation. I have this in the darkest shade, which is 12. It's in another okay foundation. Nothing really to write home about, but since this is drugstore, I like this a little bit better because, you know, it's cheaper. So, yeah. Okay, now we're getting into some older foundations, which is a good thing. This is my perfect shade in my Fenty foundation. As you can see, I have gotten some use out of it, but I stopped myself to really get some of these older products out of the way. And this is in the shade 440. I really do enjoy this foundation. This definitely is something that even when I finish the darker shade, I will be cranking out this newer shade. I really do enjoy this formulation. I think at most, this might be kind of more of my holy grail, like matte-ish foundation. But yeah. Next is the Dior Backstage foundation. I absolutely adore this foundation. This is in 6N. This was my perfect match and the first perfect match that I've ever found. I love this foundation. This would definitely be another kind of holy grail foundation. As you can see, I've gotten some use out of this, and this was after finishing 2 samples. So I definitely loved this foundation, still do, but I'm trying to get out the collection, some of these older foundations that I don't necessarily enjoy, so that I can get use out of these really nice foundations. The Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I have this in the shade Cocoa. I love this foundation as well. This is definitely more of a satin finish, beautiful satin finish, but this gives a nice, beautiful medium application. This also does have a pump. I love when foundations have pumps. And yeah, another really good foundation. Next, this is a foundation that this was actually perfectly made for me. This is the Bare Minerals, what is this called? Made to Fit foundation. I actually got like the app where you can like sync it to your skin and it'll send you your perfect match, perfect formulation, all of that. I got a decent amount of wear out of this. I really did enjoy it, but I stopped using it because this once again was a perfect match and I did not want to finish it and have to buy it, because I actually got this sent to me for free through influencer. But it's time to really get my use out of this baby. So eventually this will be on the chopping block for foundations to get use out of. And yeah, I can't not wait. The next 2 foundations are basically dupes, so you don't need to get both if you are interested in either or. This is the Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir foundation. This is in the shade Soft Sable. I actually did hear through the grapevine that they are discontinuing this foundation, so I would recommend the next one that I will be talking about. I love this foundation. This is like my drugstore equivalent. I need you to focus on the foundation, computer, camera. I don't know why my camera is having such difficulty. This is a really pretty foundation. This is actually my like Too Faced Born This Way equivalent in the drugstore. I really enjoy this foundation and I would recommend it if it was still available. Somehow you were able to get it. This is the one that like I think replaced that foundation, and this is the Covergirl Full Spectrum Matte Ambition foundation. I have this in the shade Deep Neutral 2. I would recommend this. This is basically an equivalent of the Soft Sable. I did do a foundation wear test reviewing or comparing both of these. I think I did a 3-day wear test actually, and I was very proud of that wear test. So if you're interested, please do check it out. I will try and link it down below. I really do enjoy this formula, but once again, this is a newer foundation, so there's no reason for me to really be cranking this out. I really want to get the older foundations out of the way. 4 foundations left. I have 2 kind of tubey foundations. This is the Becca Skin Love foundation, and this is in the shade Espresso. I'm not the biggest fan of this actually. I think it looks good once you set it, but this is like definitely not something that I can go around not setting, to be honest. I did get some good use out of it. I will be getting more use out of it. Maybe this will be something I take traveling, because this is an easier traveling foundation, and I've been taking like my stick foundations to get those out of the way, or something really cylindrical, but something like this might actually work. So yeah, we will see. And it also gives you a nice medium coverage, which is where I like to stick at. This is another foundation that I got from Target last year. This is the Hue Noir foundation in Chestnut. I actually contacted the brand to get some samples sent to me, so if you are interested, I would recommend contacting them. And I think also Haley's, they didn't send me samples, but they gave me shades that I should check out. So I definitely would recommend these. These are both, I believe, black owned brands, which is why I really wanted to try them out. This is a little bit more of a matter finish than the Haley's, which is why I did not reach for this nearly as much, but it might be a good finish for you if that is what you're looking for. Two foundations left. We have the Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation. I have this in the shade 515, I believe. That's the only number that I have up top. I like this foundation. I think it's a nice foundation. Nothing to really write home about. It definitely is equivalent to some of these other foundations that I have, but I really did enjoy testing it out. And when it's time for it to get its use out of it, my use out of it, I will. And then the last foundation is definitely another foundation that I truly enjoyed when I was getting my use out of it. This would be another kind of, if I could say, holy-ish grail, this would be another holy-ish grail. And this is the Smashbox Studio Skin Foundation in the shade 4.3. This is another foundation that pretty much is my perfect skin tone. I loved this foundation. And this will be another foundation that if I use up, I would probably get my money's worth. Not my money's worth, I'd probably get another one. So that is my foundations. Now let's hop over to my powders. I have some sample size powders. This is a Charlotte Tilbury one in dark. I got it from Sephora. You know how they give you those like codes to put in to get stuff? This was a code. I still have yet to use it, honestly. So I can't give you guys any opinion on it, but it's a really small compact. I figured it could be good for traveling or putting in my shop, my stash for work. So that's why I still have it. Then I have my Fenty loose powder. I have this one in Cashew. Once again, I have not tried this powder, but that's because I have so many powders. I'm trying to get use of my older ones, but this will be one that when I get the chance to, I am excited to try it out. Then I have my Laura Mercier in Translucent. I think this is an okay powder. I'm not as big of a fan of Laura Mercier's powders as other people are, but between the two that I had at one point, this was the one that I preferred. So I'm almost actually done with my Kat Von D one, so I will probably be going into one of these other minis because I do want to get these minis out of my collection. If you guys know me and you follow my channel, you know I don't really like minis. It's just not where my heart is. I'm going to stick with the loose powder trend and go into this baby. This is the Essence loose powder. I have it in peach. I enjoy this powder. I thought it was a really nice formulation and a really nice color. I really liked it for the color. So I will definitely be keeping this, and if this is still available when I finish it, I may repurchase it. Next, I have my Milk Makeup Blur Powder. I have this in the dark one, Translucent Deep. I really enjoyed this powder. Really enjoyed this powder. This was sent to me through Influencer, and otherwise, I honestly wouldn't have purchased it because it was too expensive. I just was not about purchasing high-end powders, but this is a really nice powder. I feel like when I finish this, I will go ahead and scoop it up again because this was my only powder that is my complexion that I've really enjoyed. I have gone through a Cover FX powder as well, but I enjoy that one more. Next is a Becca powder. This I believe is already discontinued, and this is in Pink Haze. I got it because I thought it was an interesting color. I wanted to try it on my complexion. Once again, I really do enjoy the formula, and I think that the color is interesting and it actually works for my complexion. So I'm not mad at it, and it will stay in my collection. And if I can get another version when I'm finished and I still enjoy it by that point, then I will get another one. Next is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Loose Setting Powder. This is a powder that got a lot of hype because a lot of people who had oily skin thought this really did good with mattifying their skin. I agree. This is a really good mattifying powder. I haven't been reaching for it because I haven't been really liking the matte look. I've really been enjoying a satiny base. But when I do want a matte look, I will reach for this when I am done kind of getting through these other powders that I don't want to keep in my collection. And the last powder is the Patrick Star powder. I obviously got the second version of it with the less amount of product. I don't really care. I just really wanted to try this formulation. I actually really do enjoy the formula. So this will definitely be one of those powders that when I take the time to really go in on it, I will be sad, but it'll be something that I need to get my use out of. I don't want things just sitting in my collection as badly as they have been doing in the past. Okay, next I have a couple of things that I actually depotted and repotted kind of, so I don't even know what they are called, to be honest. But this I believe is a Covergirl powder. Let me see if I can get it out. I can't. This I believe is a Covergirl powder. This I was using for my under eye. It's an okay powder, and maybe after I'm done with some other powders, this may be kind of a everyday shop my stash type of thing. This is a MAC skin powder, and it's a mineralized finish. And oh, the shade is Sun Power. I thought this could be a bronzer. It clearly is not, but this is a really good like natural finish powder for me. So once again, when I finish some of my other powders that I'm focusing in on, I may start to reach for this. Then we have the Sephora kind of equivalent to that. I didn't realize that that's what this was. I had already had the Sephora one before I got the MAC one. So yeah, I would probably be reaching for this one before I reach for that one because I want to get some use out of this before it goes bad. Then during the same time, I got that Soap and Glory foundation. I got this. This is the One Heck of a Blot powder. I really wanted to try this. People have always been raving about this powder and I never tried it. I've had difficulty picking this up on my brush. So that is why this has definitely not been getting as much use as I feel like it should. But hopefully I will find a brush that really works to pick this up and then I will get my use out of it. Next, I have the All Nighter powder. I think this is actually a really good powder. It's not like a holy grail like other people have claimed it out to be, but I really did enjoy this powder when I was testing it out. And last thing that I'm going to be talking about in this video is my Fenty powder. This is a powder that I aim to hit pan in, I believe, last year, and as you guys can see, I did that. I would love to finish this pan and just kind of get this out of my collection, but this is a really, really nice powder. I love that even though it looks like it would be too dark for me, it isn't. It really is translucent and it really is mattifying. So I would highly recommend this powder as well. The next video I think that I'm going to be doing in this kind of mini series throughout B&B Miss, I believe is going to be my lip products. I have definitely decluttered an obscene amount of my lip products, so it's not going to be a very long video, but it's still something that I would like to show you guys kind of what are the types of lip products that I reach for, the types of products that I felt okay with keeping and knew that I would get some use out of. So if you guys are interested in that, just let me know. But yeah, I think that's all I have for today's video, and as always, y'all, bye bye.